and welcome to episode 2 of YANKR Minecraft. Today I'm kind of going with a solo act, just me, Rod. I don't really have a cool YouTuber code name yet. That's my cat yelling at me because she doesn't know the great parenting she has. Oh my god, the recording has lasted for 5 seconds. It's lasted for 5 seconds and it's ruined already. Here, we're gonna do a cut in the video right now. 1, 2. It's crazy. Like, I think that everyone who wants to have kids should get a cat or get some kind of pet before they do it, because I learned an interesting thing about myself, and that is I don't have very much patience for living things. So the second I got my cat, I was like, oh, I have to change the litter box once a day, once every 2 days. It's occurring to me I probably shouldn't talk about my cat parenting habits on the internet because PETA might come for me. But don't worry, I'm a nice owner. But yeah, it's really easy, just changing little things like the litter box, giving her food, playing with her a few times a day. Imagine trying to be a parent, taking them to soccer practice, listening to yelling all day. I mean, I do that with my cat, but like actual human yelling that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, you know, gosh, that would be awful. So yeah, I'm really young right now. I'm just 22 years old, but I don't know, I like to think about the future. And right now, my future does not have any children. What do you think, Snowman? Well, he's like coming 24/7, so I think he wants to have kids. But today, I think the focus of this episode will be in making a gladiatorial arena. I was planning on making 2 towers here, making a little bridge down there to another cloud where I would put, this was a tease from last episode, where I would have put Hephaestus's workshop. Hephaestus is the god of the forge. He makes weapons. I think he makes lightning bolts for Zeus, which is me. But that might literally just be because I watched Disney's Hercules when I was younger, and that's how it happened. Remember, Percy Jackson is the expanse of my knowledge. So, I've noticed that on the Minecraft server, people have been playing less and less. It has a lot to do with the fact that we've been busy in our personal lives. I just turned 23, so how about that? And yeah, people have just been too busy. We play a lot of League of Legends, so that kind of keeps us occupied for a bit. But you know, it's easier to get in there, play a 30-minute game than get out. Whereas Minecraft, you kind of want to spend hours on it, or like just not really go on it. Who goes on Minecraft for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know? So in order to help get people back on the server more, I think what I'm going to do is make this arena to encourage more interaction between all of us. And whether or not people start playing it a bunch more, they're busy, you know, no matter how much I encourage them, they might not play regardless of that. So I'm just going to do the best I can and see if I can get more activity on the server. And even if they don't, like, I'm perfectly fine playing Minecraft forever by myself. A lot of my friends aren't willing to play unless they have someone else on to, like, you know, talk to or show things right away. But for me, as long as I know that I could show someone what I'm making literally like months later, I'm perfectly fine playing by myself, if that makes any sense at all. Like I just said, I'm 23 years old, but I still have the toddler instinct to show my friend what I made out of building blocks. It's funny, like freaking 40-year-olds still play Minecraft, but it's literally just building blocks, so it's interesting. I don't know. You'd think that our tastes in games would become so much more mature and things like that, but nope, still just squares and dogs and cats and eating bread. I don't know, it's not that mature. So yeah, and I'm harvesting wheat right now in order to have something interesting going on in the background. This is my first solo commentary. God, I'm being so cringe. I'm being like an actual YouTuber. But yeah, it's easier when you have someone to bounce off of. I had Lieutenant Cream, otherwise known as... Fun fact, he goes by both of those equally as often in real life. And, you know, we could literally just talk and it was organic and natural, but now I am talking to my phone on a stack of books right in front of my face so that my microphone picks it up better. And I'm in my room right now all by myself. It's a very lit Friday night, playing Minecraft alone and talking to myself, so... yeah, good luck getting in my friend group. So, yeah, it's interesting. I have to fill up all of this time just talking. Give me credit. I haven't done any annoying things like giving inanimate objects voices or shouting for comedic effect. That's usually what you see with YouTubers like PewDiePie and Tobuscus, who are awesome, but like, I don't know, that was kind of more awesome when I was younger. Once we get this finished up, I'm going to kind of explain my plan for the gladiator arena. And through the power of editing, I can actually make a cut. So I will appear at the building site in 3, 2, 1, boom. Here we are. So yeah, as I talked about, we're gonna do some stairs, make another cloud, and then start our arena. My plan right now is to make it out of obsidian, because my goal for it is to have a mob spawner above it with a pipe leaking mobs down into the arena. So it's going to be like, you know how in Greek times they fight lions or bulls or... No, I'm Spanish. We claim that. We fight the bulls. But, you know, they would like fight animals or things like that. It wouldn't always be man on man. Man on man, fun category. But So yeah, that's going to be my goal. I think I'm going to have people enter the arena with either like half a heart, probably half a heart. It's easiest to get that way through poison and lack of food and things like that. And after they get into the arena, I'm going to flip a switch, and then suddenly the mob spawner is going to be active, and it's going to be dropping in zombies and creepers and skeletons. And that way I can have it be like a 1v1, 1v1v1, 1v1v1, you know? And it's like the last guy to die to mobs to win. So like, you know, skeletons and creepers and zombies, no big deal. But what happens when you have half a heart? That'll make things more interesting. So we should probably make a checklist. Okay. Let me go make a pen and quill and a book. We'll be back with our to-do list for today's episode. All right, so we are at my clearly finished house that looks nothing like my house in real life. So here are our goals for today's episode. 4, 15, 30. Congrats, Rod. You can do math. 23 years old. Haha. All right, so I've gotten the mining materials I need. Let's take a look. Not everything has to be in F1. Ta-da! Full inventory. Honestly, it's such a nice feeling clearing your inventory. It's hard to explain. It's like why cleaning your room feels so nice, you know? You can't put your finger on why it like physically feels so great, but it does, just having everything cleared up and nice. So yeah, all of this stuff is going to be filled with stone and obsidian, hopefully in a little bit. So we're going to take a little dive off of the mountain. Ooh, I'm about to die. And I will see you in the mines. So I've been trying to eat a bit more health consciously this summer. I'm not like freaking overweight, horrifying person. Okay, that's mean. I'm sorry. But like overweight, needs the electric scooter at Walmart kind of person. It's just, you know, I'm getting a little bit on the heavier side than I'd like to be. So trying to chip away at that through eating a little healthier. And something I eat all the time is spaghetti. And that was almost death. Oh my God. So I thought, well, whole wheat stuff is a lot healthier than like white bread, white pasta, white spaghetti, things like that. You know why? Fun fact. It's because when you harvest wheat or whatever grain that you're using in your pasta or bread, it's because you get these little kernels, these little balls, you know, like little balls. And what's in those things is called an endosperm, a bran, and then there's something else. Don't worry, through the power of editing, I'll make it look like I know exactly what it is. And when you have white bread, you are only eating the endosperm, which is like the yummy part of bread, where you're like, bread is so good, you know? Oh, bread makes you fat. It's like the Scott Pilgrim versus the World dilemma. He loves bread, and then someone tells him that it makes him fat, and he's like, why? It's not junk food, it's bread. But yeah, that's the thing. The endosperm is the actual like enjoyable part of the kernel of wheat. And so what they do with white bread is they just take only that part of the kernel and they make it into a flour, and then they make it into bread. So it's just yumminess. And you know, you get like some carbs from it and some energy from it for sure. But with whole grain bread, believe it or not, they use the whole grain. So they include the bran, and there's something else. I can't remember what it's called. I'll make it look like I know what it's called through the power of editing. But yeah, they include the whole thing. So it's the equivalent of like maybe eating a fruit cake. So the fruit cake is like your kernel. So maybe you take out all of the fruit and you just eat like the sugar from it. And you're like, this is so good. That's the equivalent of white bread. Like you're taking out all of the healthy parts and you're just focusing on the unhealthy parts that taste good. And you're making a whole thing out of that. So that's your loaf of white bread. It's literally just the sugar from the fruitcake. Whereas when you have whole wheat bread or whole grain bread, it's the whole wheat. It's the whole grain of the kernel. Like you're taking the whole entire thing. So now instead of having a giant concentrated loaf of sugar, or in this case endosperm, you have an actual balanced loaf of bread that has healthier parts to it with more fiber and less calories.
Shut the fuck up. You're a fucking...
My commentary is so boring that I'm literally talking about the whole grain bread that I'm eating. I'm so sorry. I'm new to this, okay? I apologize. I'm new. Hi, I'm new. I want to kind of eat less and less meat because I feel super complicit in the tragedy that is factory farming. Like, yeah, it's the norm, but that doesn't mean it's fine. But getting to what I was going to branch off with, I like to compare that to slavery in a weird sense. Now, I know, what does a pregnant cow have to do with slaves? Well, give me a second. It's all gonna I'm all gonna bring it all home. So, I used to be a huge dork about the presidents. Like, I loved the presidents. I was a super history buff. I loved, like, the presidents. I was like, oh, these great men helped build this country. And then you look at the founding fathers, and I am not the first one to have this thought. Guess what? George Washington, awesome dude, charismatic, large cock, according to historical records. Thomas Jefferson, kind of a smaller cock, but a big intellectual. Seems like a super nice guy, and it's awesome that he helped build the country, and he had all these great ideas and everything like that. But guess what? They owned people, you know? So you're like, oh god, they were horrible monsters. And the common thing that people like to say is, oh, you know, it was the time, like, maybe they knew better, but, like, they had to have it for the system, everyone was doing it, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, I'm still deciding, like, where to fall on that debate, for sure. Like, you say now, like, you owned a person. I've read that Thomas Jefferson literally would, like, sell off slaves that had family members at the same plantation just to, like, make an example of them when they would be insubordinate. Like, you have a family of slaves, like a husband and a wife, and maybe they have a child who Jefferson owns as well. Maybe he would sell the father away if they misbehaved, or he would, you know, like, separate the families as a punishment. And that is, you know, you hear that and you're like, that's not someone misunderstanding the times. That's someone recognizing how much power they have and just abusing it and not caring. Like, that's fucking awful. And so, yeah, and I'm pretty sure he, like, slaves and had children with them. Guess what? I will supply these historical facts after. Maybe we'll be an intellectual Minecraft channel. But yeah, it's horrible. And then you see the argument of, like, well, I mean, like, everyone did it. They like had to do it to compete financially in the country. Like, and oh yeah, there were a lot of ones that were very nice to their slaves. But, like, I just hear that and I'm like, that doesn't cut it. They did horrible things to these people. So yeah, so whenever people come with the argument of, oh, it was the thing at the time, you know, a freaking horrible, evil, and immoral, widespread action that everyone was doing. And, like, you know, but it was the time. So, like, everyone was doing it, so they thought it was, like, fine. But they should have known. Like, Thomas Jefferson should have known how evil it was to own people and sell off their family members. George Washington is supposed to be the pinnacle of truth. He chopped down the motherfucking cherry tree. Like, he should have known. And so you look at me now. You look at us. Well, guess what? We're eating, you know, meat from the grocery store. We're eating chicken. We're eating cow. We're eating pig. And we just choose not to think about the ugly truth behind it. We choose not to think about, oh, you know, this was made because a creature suffered for its whole life, wasn't allowed to have a normal life. It was literally born to be shoved into a small space, cut up, moved along a conveyor belt, and then eaten. So, you know, when you're everyday person like me or you, when we are complacent and we say, oh yeah, you know, I ate these carnitas, they were great. Oh yeah, it really fucking sucks, the factory farming, but like, you know, what am I gonna do, give up meat? Well, guess who probably didn't want to give something up way back when, you know? I'm sure Thomas Jefferson, I'm pretty sure even that like he was against slavery on paper, but he was like, oh, you know, it's an awful system, but I have to participate in it in order to stay relevant or support myself. So yeah, every time we end up saying, oh, you know, meat is the only thing around, it's the only thing I could do, I think we're kind of making excuses. We're saying like, oh yeah, you know, like, oh yeah, I could get rid of my slaves and set them free, but like it would make my life so much harder. I could stop buying meat from the grocery store, but oh, it would make my life so much harder. You know, I can't help but see the parallels. Like, that's the thing that people are going to think that we were monsters for in the far future. They're going to be like, they seriously, like veal, they seriously would lock up baby cows in a small space, purposefully make them have underdeveloped muscles so that it wasn't too tough of meat. I think that's how it works. Also, you could enjoy it for like 5 minutes. That sounds fucking horrifying and barbaric. But guess what? We do it. So, yeah, and I'm a hypocrite. Like, excuse me. I'm literally probably going to eat meat later. What did I eat for dinner? Oh, I ate my whole wheat pasta. So, nice. Vegetarian. But, well, guess what? A cow had to be kept in a factory farm to make the Parmesan cheese I had with it. It's just awful. It is, like, I've brought up so many reasons why I should stop eating meat right away. But guess who's still going to eat their Parmesan cheese? Guess who's going to eat breakfast sausage tomorrow? Something like that. I'm not strong enough and good enough of a person to give those things up, give up those conveniences, give up those luxuries, in order to do the right thing. And honestly, if history judges me for that, I do not blame them at all. So, does that make me a bad person? I feel like you could argue it is. I don't know. It's hard to say. Big thoughts. Sorry, I got a text. I'm being weird. It is hard to say. Big thoughts with Rod. But yeah. All right, my one viewer. Comment below how you feel about the whole vegetarian thing. Is that Diamond?
Y'all know what time it is. We gon' set it off tonight. Just so. Set the club on fire. Just so. Enrique, holla at him like.
Girl, please excuse me if I'm coming too strong. But tonight is the night we can really let go. My girlfriend's out of town and I'm all alone.
My folks were always putting him down. They said he came from the wrong side of town. They told me he was bad, so bad. But I